Uh-oh. Cough button. Cough button. Oh.
We're not even 2 seconds into this podcast and you're already coughing up the buttons. Yeah, I need my drink. I drank even.
Goodness. Cough up a lung on that one.
No kidding.
Oh, my
What the heck was that
gracious.
about?
I don't know. Wow.
Come on, man.
Huh. Yeah, it's right.
Doing a podcast here. What the heck was that?
I don't know. Apparently the parasites want in on it. I don't know.
Clearly.
Oh, goodness. All right. Let's get this thing going, shall we? All right. Welcome to another Drake and the Maestro. Coming to you like almost relevant. And now, you know what? I'm going to do that again. Welcome to Drake and the Maestro. Oh, okay. I'm going to do that again. Welcome to Drake and the Maestro. Almost relevant. And coming to you almost live from the Great White North.
You don't want to do it again?
Okay, I'll do it again.
Safety's sake?
Coming to you. I'll do it again. Welcome to Drake and the Maestro. Almost relevant. And coming to you from the Great White North. Eh?
Yeah,
because it's like snowing and freezing, eh?
Oh, you think it's cold down there, my good sir? It is. Whew, it's cold.
Well, if I wanted to be in Brass Monkey territory, I'd live in Brass Monkey territory.
It's 3 degrees.
Yeah, I think it's like 18 over here, eh?
Yeah, it's supposed to be negative 11 overnight.
Yeah, it's gonna be sporty.
Yeah, so yeah, this is the third polar vortex this year.
Well, we getting our money's worth on those vortexes.
Vortices, even?
Yeah, I don't know. What's the plural of polar vortex? Is it polar vortices? I mean, the plural
that's what I would think.
Yeah, I would know. Potato. I'm not going to get into it because I got burned on the dentist thing. I'm just not going to go.
Yeah, you did.
No. Mm-mm. Yeah. I got another one of those.
Did you get dentist again?
Yeah. We're just not going to do that.
How many times we got to teach you this lesson, old man?
Apparently. See?
Oh, by the way, I wanted to thank you for dropping that in last week. That was perfect.
Yeah. That was great. Well, it's gonna be a regular feature.
You led me right into it.
We're getting right. We're gonna foreshadow. We're gonna foreshadow the next podcast and the previous podcast. Foreshadowing.
Boy,
it's a literary tool.
Yes, it's a literary tool we're using in this audio podcast.
Because we're geniuses like that.
Yeah, we're geniuses. We're something, all right.
Uh-huh.
So I got a doozy for you.
Yeah.
I went. Me and a driver friend of mine met up at our terminal, and we both went to get dinner. And I got this huge Canadian.
A driver friend and me. Driver friend and I.
I guess a driver friend and I.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Went to get dinner at the Petro here in Clearwater, and I got this huge Canadian prime rib steak, like 24 ounces, right? Big steak.
Okay.
And I had been up for a good part of the day already, and I was a little out of it. And they get me, steak comes out, medium. They cooked it to perfection, and I get my silverware out of the roll, and I'm trying to cut the steak. And steak's just
you can always tell when you're in a classy restaurant because the flatware is all rolled up to the neck in the serviette. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the steak knife's about as sharp as a butter knife.
Yeah,
so I'm sawing at the steak with the knife, and it's just sliding all over the plate, and the utensils are slipping in and out of the steak. I'm like, what in the world? I mean, I know I'm
that's
kind
not
of
a knife.
No, you're on the right track, but the wrong utensil. Okay. I picked the utensils. I was like, what is going on? And I look, and what I thought I was holding was a fork, but I was actually trying to fork it with a spoon.
That's not a knife, that's a spoon.
All right, you win. I see you've played Knifey Spoony before.
Yeah, so it just, I'm holding the spoon, and I've been trying to
How tired were you?
Apparently very.
That's something I would do.
I was just totally out of it, and I just realized, like, well, that's why I couldn't, fork, because this isn't a fork, you dingus.
That's what happens when you eat too many meals and all you have is a spork. You lose your cultural refinement.
I laughed. Oh, I laughed until I cried. It was so, just in the moment, it was so funny. that was it. That was all I could do. Let's just laugh.
Why isn't this working?
Yeah, because I was getting full on just angry because I could not get this stupid thing to work.
Did your dinner companion get up and excuse himself to the bathroom?
No, he actually didn't laugh as hard as I did.
know
I
what?
did one that found it funnier than he did. He even said, he's like, I was gonna say something, but you seem to be handling it, so I just kind of let you get after it. I was like, yeah.
Hopefully he'll say something before you walk out in traffic or something.
Something, yeah. Well, it depends on how funny.
I was gonna mention about the bus, but then I forgot. He's got this.
Yeah, he seems pretty. He seems pretty on top of it.
With friends like that, you don't need coroners. Yeah.
No, or an enemies. I got a bone to pick with you.
Okay.
Did you edit out all of my soundboard shenanigans from the podcast last week?
I did not. That was Craig.
So they just didn't. So Craig is just, I'm being censored by a robot. Awesome.
Uh-huh. Although, go ahead, try some shenanigans right now. We'll see if they
my phone's in the window, remember?
Okay. I'll try some shenanigans. How about that?
I think I could beat you to it, maybe. No, you got me. You beat me to it. Well, I gotta give you that. And there concludes the soundboard portion of our podcast, because otherwise neither of us will say anything.
So it'll all be like a conversation in emojis.
Well, right. It would just be complete silence because no one will hear anything that we're doing if Craig is censored. That Craigian bastard.
So we'll find out. Yeah, there were no sounds available.
No, I was kind of disappointed, actually.
I know.
So I was like, hey, some of that was actually really funny.
It was. And unfortunately, no one got to hear it.
Nope. South doesn't get to look at it.
No, they don't. Yeah. So you're all squared away on what piece? Any other pieces of flatware that you have questions about, or you
no,
okay
no.
now?
I think I got it. I think I got it kind of figured out here.
See, the biggest problem for me is when they roll all the flatware up in the serviette, it destroys the whole way that I was taught to figure out how to use these utensils, right? You just start on the outside, work your way in, right? Because you get the fish fork, you get the salad fork, you get dinner fork, dessert fork, right? Well, if it's all rolled up together, how do you know? How do you know which one to use first?
You get a butter knife, a fork, and a spoon, and then you just use the utensil you need.
So hopefully, yeah, right. Hopefully, you'll just be able to tell the difference between them and go from there. Yeah. Okay. Well, I got one. It's not the same.
Okay.
All right. So, so going through the monthly bills, right? Just paying out the monthly expenses. Trying to not go into shock looking at everything.
Right.
But doing the whole thing, and I realized that, and I'm going to spare them their name. You can decide to well, anyway, the listeners will figure out who I'm talking about anyway. But your average, your prominent water treatment company, shall we say, right?
Uh-huh.
And we hired their services because basically we're drinking liquid rock over here. And they have greatly improved the quality of the water and the plumbing, and it's been a good thing, except, all right, as Philip J. Fry once said,
"Shut up and take my money."
They can't get the billing right. It's like some months the bill comes, others it doesn't. Sometimes it's in the emails, sometimes it's not. And then when it does come in the email, it isn't even really a bill. There's nothing like in a box that says pay this amount.
Could you pay this if it's convenient for you
Nothing
in the near
like
future?
That. Right. It says this is due. It's just a statement. It's just like these are the things and the charges and the things, and there you go. Well, how do you pay?
And, you know what to do.
I don't really. I mean, I kind of do.
Yes, but look here, old fella, it's not cricket. You're not
playing the game.
Huh?
No, they're not fun. First of all, I asked to be put on paper bill for a reason. I need to be in control of what's going on with the bills and the money going out and all that. I think a lot of people get themselves in trouble, myself included, as everything's just on auto draft and you never bother to reconcile your checkbook and account and bank account and all that, and everything's just debit carded to you, and you get debit carded to death. And next thing you know, you've got $10,000 in debit card fees, and you're mad at the debit card fees. Well, no, that's not what happened. Anyway, so I just asked them to put on paper. Oh yeah, we can do paper bill, but they can't. They can't do paper bill. And then
doesn't sound like they can do regular. Doesn't sound like they can do the email bill either.
That is correct. And so I drove down. To their office and got it straightened out. This was last summer, and because all of a sudden I did finally get a bill that said you owe like $1 million.
I gave you my bill.
Pay up. Please pay up. Wait a minute.
Owner of this bill, please pay up.
That's right. Pay up. Okay. All right.
I'm doing a lot of music. Doing a lot of musical humor this episode. You know,
I guess. Well, musical. I don't know what's humor.
Fun for some.
Fun for some. So they went to. I went down there, straightened it out. Like, all right, we're gonna get this on the paper because I haven't received paper. All I've been getting are these weird statements, and there's nothing on there about, please pay this amount. And it's like, oh yeah, no, it's on there. So I open it up and I look. This is what you sent me. Where does it say, please pay whatever? And it's like, then she's finally like, well, you have to take column A and column C and subtract them from B. And I'm not doing my taxes here.
And then you stand on your head and then you look at it upside down. And now you have the answer.
And then it comes down to, and then that's the amount left over. Then that's the amount you pay. I'm like, oh, this is
how does that make any donkey boffing sense?
Right. So I'm like, all right. So, the paper bill, please. Enough of this. Like, oh yeah, it wasn't selected here in the computer. All right. So sure enough, they send the paper bill.
Why do I need to select it?
Well, anyway. Yeah. So next thing, paper bill shows up on the day it's due.
Wasn't that helpful?
I call them up. I'm like, I'm going to send you a check, but I would expect not to be assessed late fees because it just showed up. I was like, well, the computer says it was mailed out. I said, listen. It just showed up. Don't and that's what is this? Oh, the computer says.
The horse says.
Doctorate denied.
Exactly. You know how they say that doctors will believe anything that's on the patient's chart? So like if you write whatever you want the doctor to believe, right? You just put it on your chart and then the doctor reads the chart and says, oh, interesting, right?
Right.
I didn't know we were supposed to pay this patient $2 million. Okay, well, let's get the check to him. Why would we give the patient $2 million? Well, it's on the chart. Okay, it's on the chart.
Okay,
all right. So this whole it's on the computer screen,
doctors
so it must be gospel.
Doctors don't want you to know this one trick.
Oh, don't get me started on those ads. Oh my gosh. Oh, the cheese ball ad industry has ripped off. Remember the old, the supposed viral videos where, the government doesn't want you to know about this,
No, I don't.
They don't want you to see this. They don't want you to see this video and click it now before it's taken down. That whole.
What I do know is that you started to sound like Jesse Ventura there for a little bit.
Well, it's going to be a free range dialect episode. I feel that's what I'm thinking. That's probably
free range dialect.
That's dialect.
That's a band name. That's a band name. Free range dialect.
All right. Putting it on the list.
Better be on the list.
Free.
All I'm saying.
Of course, free range dialect. Here, I'll put it right next to Wingus and the Ping Pong Boys.
There you go.
Yeah. So I'm typing and talking simultaneously. I'm a talented guy.
And you're not doing it well. You're not doing well at either. So I would hold off on the back padding.
Okay. Next to Scuba Steve and the Aquanauts, we have what was it? See, I already forgot. Rotating dialect? No.
Drifting dialect.
Yeah, something like
Dynamic dialect.
I'll have to listen to the replay.
I was gonna say you're gonna have to listen to the episode just to figure out the band name that I gave you in the episode. This is what I'm dealing with, folks. This is why nothing gets done around here. Because if I don't do it, nothing happens.
Wandering dialect.
He just falls on his face.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised he can get his pants on by himself.
The truth, because I can still. Well, once I get confused what hole goes where, that could be a problem too. I'm finding that as I have not having to be mentally keyed up 24/7 for doing the consulting stuff for the tech, and
You're finding that you're just turned into mush.
I am. I'm going to have to start taking on some kind of stuff.
My brain is like oatmeal.
Yeah. Yes, it does. It does tend to do that if you don't use it. You just kind of turn into pudding.
I'm losing it.
Right. It's right. So, so billing. We're talking about billing. And
Billings.
Shut up and take my money.
Montana.
Okay. So the thing arrives on the day it's due. I send that out. No, we won't charge you. Okay. So then
They charge you anyway.
when it's due when there's no bill shows up the month after that in the mail.
Cool.
Nothing.
Free month.
So I call them up. That was my opinion. I'm like, am I paying for service? Because, we're having trouble with we're on a new system and what. Okay, fine. So I go ahead and pay one-time credit card to get that bill set up. And then the next bill shows up on time.
Yay.
Wonderful. Pay it. The next one shows up on time. Pay it. Even has a little stub that says pay this amount. Great. That's just what I wanted. Right? And then they stop showing up again.
You're falling back into your old habits again.
And all of a sudden, it's emails. Because like when they're doing the paper, the wacky email stopped. Those weird pseudo bill statement things, they stopped. And they're coming in the mail properly. Right? And even if they sent by email what they were sending in the mail, that would have worked. So at least it says pay this amount. No. So then the wacky statements start up in email. I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm fighting a losing battle, right? So at some point, sometimes you just got to... You guys say, you know what? I'm pushing a losing position here. Yeah. So I generate a virtual credit card at Privacy, and I call them up, and I go, okay, here. We're going to pay the bill because they're not showing up in the mail anymore, and then you can just put me on auto pay through this credit card, and then the credit card company will send the statements to me because of their pay, and then I can still track it.
Message for me.
So, right, it works out. So here you go. Great. Okay, are we all set up? Now you're going to do the auto draft? Yes, it's fine. All right. So 3 months pass. I'm getting the weird statements, and then I'm like, okay, if I subtract column A, carry the 3, go to column C, and then do a difference figure of column B, it looks like there's something accruing here that I don't want to be accruing. And then I went back and checked the statements on the credit card company, and sure enough, they haven't been billing. So they've just been running a balance month after month. So I call them up. What's going on? Oh, yeah, you owe, $83 million or whatever it was. I'm like, but I hit it on auto draft. Oh, yeah, the box in the computer didn't get checked for auto draft. Now, remember how you were kind of raging at the stake? You couldn't cut.
Yeah.
That's about where I was.
Yeah, but you had a legitimate reason. The only thing that I could blame was myself and my own incompetence.
You were mad at incompetency, which takes many forms.
Yes, in this case, it was mine.
So I'm trying to stay calm.
Civil.
Well, you know what? Take me off the whole program, because it's a program you're supposed to pay every month. And they come out and they service the units and they do the maintenance. And if something breaks, they fix it. And they service all the filters and the reverse osmosis membrane and the deliver salt. And so I had to run down all the costs of all the different things, right? How much does this service cost? How much does what?
Nothing. Go ahead.
How much does each service cost? So I'm adding it all up. And I'm realizing that they're making a healthy profit on breaking those services up and charging per month. About 50%. Yeah. Not quite, but almost 50%. So I'm like, you know what? It's cheaper for me to just pay you as you go. That way, at least probably be able to get that bill right.
Yeah.
So I said, take me off this premium whatever.
Yeah, take me off the premium crap service.
I think that was her calling me right now.
They heard you were talking some smack.
I think so.
And smacking some talk.
Yeah, I think so. Anyhow, I said, well, okay. I mean, completely unfazed. I'm like, well, I can't even have any satisfaction about them, upsetting anybody. It's like, another customer. Who cares? Which,
yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it does kind of go with the whole kind of not being able to get the billing right and not really, being inconsistent there, and then not caring if you lose, get another customer. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
It fits. So then I hung up, and I was like, okay, we're all straightened out. I'm like, great. So I canceled the virtual credit card and all that. So I, happened to talk over with my wife. And so to you listeners out there, you want to talk those things over with your significant other, especially if that's a wife. Previously, prior to canceling, not after, because she's like, what'd you do that for? They were scheduled to do a major maintenance on the entire system next month. I added it up. It's like, holy crap, that's like the expensive annual maintenance. And I've paid in almost a year, and now I'm going to cancel right before I get the service. That was really stupid.
Nice going, dingus.
So I'm like, okay, you know what? Thought about it for about a day. Like, time to get out the barbecue sauce because I need to eat some crow here.
You just,
so I call them.
Really like to eat crow, don't you?
It tastes good. I
Those
like it.
poor corvids in your area.
Well, it tastes like it tastes a lot like sparrow, but meatier.
Well, is the
Anyhow.
sparrow laden or unladen?
I don't know.
It's French.
Anyhow, so
Okay.
I called him back up, and I said, this is Drake. You may not remember me. Like, oh no, we know who you are. Oh, crap.
Oh.
Well, I asked you to cancel the premium service the other day, and we haven't even gone through a week, let alone a whole monthly billing cycle. So I'm still paid up. Could I just get back on the service? Because I canceled without asking my wife if that was all right, if she was okay with it. Like, oh yeah, we'll put you right back in. I'm like, oh, okay. So I generated a new one-time, merchant locked credit card, gave it to them. They ran it through the system. It seemed to be okay. I don't know if the right boxes are checked for auto billing. I don't know what's coming next month. Am I going to get a goofy statement? Am I going to have recognition of the charge through the credit cards? I don't know. All I know is they'll come out and maintain the reverse osmosis system and the softener and the filters and everything it's supposed to do because it's all happening on schedule next month. So we'll see what happens after that. But I should not have to go through all this just to.
Well, I thought you enjoyed machinations.
No. I don't play shut up and take my money. I just don't like doing that.
I thought you liked machinations and things that you needed to hoops you needed to jump through.
That's macadamias, not machinations.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
No, that's what's been wrong.
Socket, not sprocket.
Right.
Winch, not wench.
Which winch?
Oh, yeah. So there you go. Those are my machinations with the water treatment people. To be continued.
I was going to say. Well, it's how Machiavellian of you.
Yes. I've also noticed.
You've noticed things?
I from time to time, yeah, things come crashing through, into my own little whatever. That
Good way to
people
describe
aren't
it.
pulling. People don't pull to the right for any emergency vehicles at all, which
they can't figure out how to merge onto a highway. Why would you think people are going to pull to the right for emergency vehicles?
Well, and apparently now we're seeing a whole epidemic of people now. Yes, people pulling over in the suicide lane for a traffic stop. They're getting stopped by a traffic cop, for some kind of moving violation, and they're not pulling over into the right. They're pulling into the suicide lane and stopping.
I've seen people do that. I've seen people pull to the left shoulder when they if they get pulled over if they get getting pulled over on the left in the left lane.
Right.
Let's say they're speeding and the cop gets behind them in the left lane. They'll just pull onto the left shoulder.
Right. Which no.
You always go to the right.
What was on the exam that you took to get your license? Pull to the right.
Oh, that's bold of you to assume they took an exam.
But in your car, you throw caution to the wind.
Okay, well, maybe that's part of the problem. What are you doing?
They don't know.
Yeah,
just doing stuff, man.
Just pull in the suicide lane. That's all. That's just fine.
Listen, man, they don't have time to think about things while they're also trying to do things.
Yeah. I know. I understand. I just noticing that lately. That's becoming a thing. And I saw one cop. Could tell he was aggravated because they pull over in the median and they pull over in the suicide lane, and he's sitting there, and he finally gets on the PA. Says, pull to the right, pull over to the right, pull off the road into the parking lot on the right, pull over. And so finally, the car's just sitting there. I don't know. I'm
sitting in the middle with you.
Yeah, right. So then the cop gets out and goes stomping up to the car, and there's like gesticulating and motioning over to the right, and because there is an area right there to the right where you could safely pull off because it's like the entrance suicide turning lane into a shopping center. And you could easily pull over right there instead of drifting over to the center. So anyway, so when the cop gets back, like, well, that ought to do it. Gets in his car and waits for this other car this traffic's clear to go over to the right because it's a danger thing for the cop because you got traffic going by in two directions there, right? But
yes,
yeah. Sorry, got wandering dialect today. Sorry.
Yeah, I can tell.
So, what does the driver who eventually does put their car in motion, and it took forever for them to put the car in motion? Well, what does he do?
It just leaves.
Pulls to the left into the oncoming lane, drives down the oncoming lane, and then pulls into like one of those into a fuel mart. I can't imagine there'd be a few tickets getting issued.
A few. Of course, I just take their license and cut it in half and go, no.
We're towing your car right here, sir.
That's right.
I'm sorry, sir. You've lost the privilege of driving. Just There may not be an intelligence test to vote, but there certainly is one to drive, so you're done.
Or there should be.
So I can only imagine what was going on is the person and the driver, I don't know if there was a passenger, it didn't look like it, was just saying, okay, move to the right. This is probably the same kid growing up. Okay, Billy, give me your right hand. No, your other right.
That was me.
Yes. So
that was just me.
It's just another person who's got right and left confused, probably,
I do get my right and my left confused occasionally, but, I usually just hold up my hands, and whichever one makes an L, that's my left hand,
So that's probably what was going on. The driver's probably sitting there. That's why it took 15 minutes to move with the car.
Well, right, okay, they got their hands out. They're like, okay, well, this one makes an L.
Right.
But which one makes an R?
Right. What's the R hand? Oh dear. I can't get this. I don't want to get this wrong. And then, of course, ultimately, following Nietzsche, who says, the first instinct is usually the correct one, goes left. Yes. Wrong. Oh, man. So there you go. What's with it? I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of it, and I'm starting to think that probably not safe to drive on the roads anymore.
I mean, definitely couldn't agree more.
And I'm also finding, we had the snow and the ice come through here the other day, and normally I'd be in the adventure van going, woohoo, right? Time for some spectacular driving. No, I stayed off the road because I know my van's quite capable. The adventure van will do just fine, but some chowderhead with 3.5 bald tires on an old Chevy square body is going to be out there, yahoo, just bam, right into my new van. I don't think so.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Sometimes that,
or it'll be the guy with the old Pontiac Sunbird with 2 fresh tires on the driving wheels and 2 bald tires in the back.
Bald tires on the steer tires, yeah.
No, fresh tread on the front. Because, it's front wheel drive and it steers in front. You only need good tires in the front. No. In fact, you need more tread on the back tires because there's less weight on them for stability. So, yes. Automobile tip for everyone, all the listeners. If you've got, first of all, keep up on those rotations so the tires are wearing evenly front to back. And second of all, if you've got a front-wheel drive car, and if you discover that the tires are worn down in front and kind of thick and chopped on the back, there's lots of tread, don't rotate them. Even though, because someone hasn't been doing the rotations, just buy a new set of tires. Because what'll happen is you'll get lots of traction up front. Because we'll put the ones in the back up front and get them worn down. Well, now you got no tread in the back. The back end goes for a ride every time. you want to put on the brakes in less than optimal weather. And so
Yeah.
you'll be driving a hockey puck. You'll be able to go, but stopping will be a real challenge. And that's the voice of experience, because I was driving home with the car that we used to affectionately call the Burek, and it had that kind of tire arrangement. And there was just a little bit of snow on the road, and I came up over the railroad tracks like Captain America, just woohoo! And I had realized I had to put on the brakes for the traffic light. And next thing you know, I was looking where I came from.
Next thing I know, I was backwards.
That's right. So that's where that theory was put into practice and tested. I was testing a tire theory, doggone it. That's what I was doing. Yep.
I'm going to test my foot up your theory.
Speaking of foot and theories up places that probably don't belong, or maybe they do belong, I'm going to have to limit my reality TV viewing.
Megan and I are starting to watch the same TV shows, and I'm liking them.
No.
Yes. I mean, it really started with Curse of Oak Island.
Yeah.
I mean, did we really expect them to find anything?
No.
I came across an interesting statistic, and I'd like to verify it, but I didn't have the time. That there has never been a significant cache of buried treasure unearthed anywhere in any land.
No, there was that Forrest Fenn guy.
What did he get?
No, the guy that buried like the several $1 million in gold and.
Oh, and it had the treasure hunt, right? He had the clues and the books. Yeah. Well, we're talking about, fabled treasure, pirate treasure, Civil War treasure, Nazi gold, all that stuff. And it's no one's ever. There's only like one company I think that's found offshore, like in the water treasure.
In the water.
But on dry land,
it's in the water.
It's in the water. That's why it's yellow.
It's in the water.
So for a while, Oak Island was. Well, first of all, Oak Island is annoyingly entertaining because it's the narration that just could it be? I'm like, oh, stop it!
Could it be? It could be. But it's not.
Could it be me changing the channel? No, because I'm hooked on it. I want to see what happens. But then I realized, and after a few seasons of it, you really need, and this is something you and I need to develop. We need the fast forward button rating system. Mm-hmm. Like good movies, the better the movie, the more stars you get, right? Well, this would be like golf. So how many fast forwards it gets tells you how bad it is. So if it has only one fast forward, that's got to be pretty good. If it's got like 20 fast forwards, it's like, oh. And
Barbie, what happened to you?
So I have to give Oak Island on a 0 to 10 fast forward scale. Lately, it's become about a 7 fast forwards because they keep going back. It is pretty bad. There's about 10 minutes of fresh content in the program, and the rest is all could it be? And don't you remember when? I'm like, yes, I was here. I was watching. Stop it. And then but they're the ones, and I lay it squarely at Discovery Channel's feet and the producers of Oak Island. They're the ones. They were the gateway to all these other shows going out, and it's all about the journey. It's all about the discovery, and they find nothing. Like I stopped doing
Small Town Girl. It's all about the journey.
Yes.
I told you I was doing musical humor.
Yeah, good job good on good for you. Yes. So they're like,
isn't that nice?
And it was so bad that I think it was Josh Gates comes out and then like the new Expedition X. He actually came out and was promoting the new season, and he says, we're actually going to go find stuff. We're not going to show you just, we're on the search of, we're going to go find it. We're going to find new stuff.
We're going to find it.
All right. Unfortunately, Expedition X, which is like supposed to be the supernatural one, right?
Uh-huh.
They do ghost hunting and cryptid hunting and whatever, right? They don't find jack. And it's so bad it's become a foregone foredrawn conclusion that they will find nothing. And so they get 8 fast forwards and a heckling. But it's not just them. It's hunting and drumming for Bigfoot or whatever your
Drumming
reality
for
show is.
Bigfoot?
Yeah,
I watched
actually,
that.
I did watch that. It was awesome, but unfortunately, it was only one episode.
Do they actually go drumming for Bigfoot? Like,
Yes.
do they get like Neil Peart out there and they play the drums?
Yeah, with a stadium kit. Yeah,
Sweet.
yeah.
That sounds awesome.
The biggest and onlyest Bigfoot evidence I ever saw on one of these reality shows was from Larry the Cable Guy when he was doing Only in America, and he's just fooling around with himself. He's like, and then something answers from the hills.
You know what's wild? I tried to show someone that clip of him doing that. You can't find it.
No, it's been scrubbed.
Which is even further proof of Bigfoot.
No, I think Bigfoot is a CIA operative, but whatever.
Yeah.
So it's getting to the point where I can't take it. I can't take it when and if they're
can't take it.
I can't. If they're doing like searching for X-Files or searching for Bigfoot or searching for cryptid or ghosts or whatever, and the entire crew.
And
did you hear that? Did you see that? What was that? What was that? Shut up!
Shut up!
I'd like to hear it because you got the whole saying, "Oh, we all heard this," and I'm, yeah, okay, well, right, you all heard it. We didn't get to hear it. What? Stop it!
No, doesn't get to look at it.
No, the listener doesn't get to see it or something.
No, the viewer doesn't get to look at it.
So if I think you and I need to do one of these, and I think we need to hire all mutes to go out and be our exploration team. Silence. And then we'll see. All right. Oh, and then another egregious violation of my whatever's
precious time,
especially Expedition X and some of these other ones are really bad at it, is they have this running soundtrack underneath of sound effects. Mm-hmm. And like crashing and whatever. And it's all a soundtrack. It's a sound. So you don't know if they're trying. You don't know if what you're hearing is legitimately a sound that they're hearing.
What was that? Stupid. Was the Foley artist?
Right. What was that? Yeah. And it's their own darn soundtrack. So enough, you people. And I know you listen. I've seen the demographics. Stop it. And on that great disappointment, it's time to end. We want to thank everybody for listening. We want to thank our new country out there in the Arabian Gulf. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow.
You're still the Arabian Gulf, so
Yeah, in Arabia, Arabian Peninsula, which blows me away that anybody out there would want to listen to this nonsense. But thank you, and thanks to all our other listeners across the globe. Really, now, my goodness. And if you want to get in touch with us, of course, you can always leave a comment on Spotify. If you're not on Spotify, X, Drake and Maestro, or our email, drakeandmaestro@outlook.com. Tune in next week when the Maestro says,
Doctorate denied.
And adios.
Arrivederci.
Hasta la vista.
Adios.
Adios, muchachos, caballeros. And when you get out of here.
Well, it's not... you know what? Maybe I should just have a nice lie down.
I'm starting to think so. Should have a nice something.
Yeah. Well, I got my semi-annual medical visits coming up, so that's got me all freaked out and studying hard for my blood test and all. Because you can't study too hard for your blood test. Yeah. Well, right. You got to study, otherwise you'll fail your blood test.
Yeah.
No, hopefully it'll be okay. Although it's been a real treat with like all the quademic it's been going. Basically been 4 ailments going around, right? There's COVID, there's RSV, bronchitis, and a nasty sinus infection as well. And and I don't believe it's an accident that those are the exact same things that were in the virus, the flu virus cocktail for this year too. Yeah, not just a coincidence, I think.
It's not unusual to be Are we recording this?